It's 1998 in a remote California town at a secluded private school.
We could have a Halloween party, just the four of us. We could have a roaming orgy.
I love the way this man thinks.
No booze, no drugs, no kidding.
One teacher is living in fear.
I'm not who you think I am. I changed my name when I went into hiding.
That's terrible. Take off your clothes.
My brother killed my sister
How'd he do that?
with a really big kitchen knife.
That's enough. I can't take it, Mom. He's dead. It's been 20 years. What's he waiting for, huh? Don't you think he would have shown up by now?
What's going on, baby?
I don't know. This is a sick joke.
Now,
Come on!
the face of good and the face of evil will meet one last time. But this time, it's going to be a fight to the finish. This summer, terror won't be taking a vacation. Halloween H20.
It's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
I've had my share.
And welcome to a new episode of the Movie Dawgs Show. We are in our first episode of the horror edition. Yes, folks, it's that time of the year for ghosts and goblins, spooks and specters, and everything in between, the creepy and crawly. Folks, we're going to talk about Halloween H20, one of my favorite out of the Halloween film franchise. Came out in 1998. Starred Jamie Lee Curtis returning as Laurie Strode. The last time we had seen Laurie Strode was in Halloween 2 back in 1981. So, because Halloween 4 came out, and I believe it was 88, we were told in that film that she had died in an off-screen car accident, and her character's daughter was being chased by Michael Jamie Lloyd. So she was becoming the lead character in that franchise. Well, after Halloween 6, the disappointment, there was a gap, and something had to be done, and Miramax was looking to keep the franchise going, and so they went to Kevin Williamson, and Kevin Williamson made up a bit of a treatment that sparked the interest of Jamie Lee Curtis and what brought her back, and she jumped on board. Of course, there'd been some things where they were trying to get John Carpenter and Deborah Hill to come back, but John Carpenter didn't come to terms with the deal or something with Miramax, so that didn't happen. But they got Steve Miner, who, as horror fans know, he directed Friday the 13th, Part 2 and 3, and he was also an associate producer on an assistant director, I believe, on the original film. So he had his, and he also, I believe, directed the first House movie. So he, was a logical choice to helm this film. And this also kind of started ahead of its time when it comes to the trend of requels or soft reboots of a franchise. This movie ignored the events of Halloween, of course, 3, but 4, 5, and 6. Basically, it is a direct sequel to Halloween 1 and 2. So, 20 years later, Laurie Strode had changed her identity, faked her death with the help of Dr. Loomis. Michael Myers is still at large, and then he shows up. And then, of course, we got a special appearance from the nurse from the original 2 films. Which she also came back for one of the 3 new films that just recently had come out. But I love this film because it just was something new in horror films because as I said, a lot of the soft reboots and new stories that are kind of ignoring its predecessor films. This film also had a special connection to me, and also I'm going to say that spoiler alert, I love this film, and I also love the ending, which this would have been a great ending for the Halloween franchise in general. The way Laurie just cut Michael Myers' head off. Spoiler alert, but I'm not going to get too much into the movie as much as the memories I had watching this movie the first night on opening night that I can remember. We went to this big theater in Ocala, Florida. The name has changed by now, I believe now, but I can't remember. It was the Hollywood 19, but it's something else now. But it was the opening night, midnight showing. Crowd was rowdy. My brother and I had a few little drinks. Of course, we were big John Carpenter fans, big Halloween fans in general. And, we didn't help the situation either when it came to the rowdy folks. We kind of, I'd have to say we encouraged it a little bit too. But one of the incidences, they had to stop the movie because the crowd was getting so rowdy. And one of the ushers, or I guess the manager or something, came into the theater auditorium and was, saying something. I guess somebody whined or complained. I don't know. Anyway, he comes in and he's like, listen, we're going to have to shut everything down if you guys can't behave. I mean, there was no really, there was people throwing popcorn at each other. Everybody was being playful, to be honest. Everybody was being very playful. And nobody was really hurting anybody or really doing any bodily harm or anything. And he's just there acting all authoritarian and everything, strutting this, trying to pull his chest out a little bit too. And the guy looked like a twig. And my brother piped up and yelled, shut up and sell some popcorn. The entire auditorium just bursted out in a roar of laughter. And to know my brother, I'll be honest, my brother was the fun, crazy one, and I was a bit of the subdued and more laid-back, chilled brother who always had to get his brother out of harm's way or out of the fist of somebody else's knuckles. But also that night, while we were watching the movie, we were sitting in the very back because we always want to sit in the very back. Got the best view because the auditorium's kind of raised up a little bit, almost a stadium-like feature, and so we were sitting in the back, and the scene where where Laurie Strode and her boyfriend were, walking around the school grounds, trying to, with a gun and trying to, find her son and his friends. What happened is that you see a shadow lurking up, and then Alan Arkin, I believe it's out. No, it's his son. Took the gun from her and, pointed it and just shot it blindly. And you see the person falling. And come to find out it was LL Cool J's character. Now, LL Cool J, he was not the best actor in the world. He never was. But he was tolerable in this film. My brother pipes up and goes, good, they shot the black bastard. And I love my brother, and he wasn't racist. I'm going to say that right here and right now, so before anybody starts complaining. But I noticed while we sat in the back, there was 3 very, very large African-American gentlemen sitting just a space of a chair next to me. And I just put my hands, covered my face, buried my hand down, going, oh my God. Basically covering my face, just thinking of the worst things possible. Thoughts running through my head, thinking like, well, the possibilities that these guys are going to think that was me saying that, and I'm probably going to be turned into a pretzel and my head shoved up my own ass. 2, I'm going to have to think of how am I going to explain this to our father that the reason why my little brother is not back with us. And two, I'm going to think also, and finally, also thinking my brother's best friend who's sitting next to him, how fast is he going to be to the door when he realized there's going to be an ass whooping and he's going to cower the hell out of the theater. He's going to eat through the walls and everything to get away from having to avoid a confrontation. So I kind of looked over a little bit, and I noticed all three of those guys were laughing their ass off after what my brother had said. And they were laughing so hard, one of them got up, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go. And one of them came up and high-fived my brother right in front of me. He goes, damn, glad somebody said something about LL Cool J. He sucks. It's something of that nature. And I'm like, looking back, and then my brother's like, just mentioning other movies that LL Cool J had been in, and they were just real quickly, throwing out how bad of an actor he kind of was. I mean, he got better as time went on, but I just could not believe that only my brother, Sean Baxter, would have been, I don't think he would have said, if he had said anything worse, he probably would have still be given a double high five. My brother was just that lucky, and, he was just very easily liked by a lot of people. I mean, I've made enemies. I don't know how. My brother has made enemies, and I know why. But still, nonetheless, my brother was more easier to be liked than me, I guess. And then after the movie was over, as I said, we had that fun time. Everybody was just, all the energy was just there when it came to watching this movie. Everybody enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. A lot of people now crap on it. But again, that's different eyes, different generations looking at this film. This is my generation's version of the best Halloween film at the time. But I look at that night so fondly as one of my favorite movie memories. I think I've mentioned that on this channel before. It's one of my favorite movie moments and movie memories. Going to an actual theater and watching a movie. And after there, the guys, talked to my brother for a little bit and everything. And they talked about it. And of course, my brother mentioned how we were making a movie, and I ended up having to get them the information of having to go to where we were living, the town that we were living, for them to go to the video store and rent the movie that we had got rented out there and everything. And then, of course, they ended up doing that. They ended up doing that because, we had to deal with the video store owner that, whoever rents this movie, have them write out a little essay or a review. And that gum, those very same guys wrote a very positive review of our movie that we had rented out in the video store. So, but again, I mean, when it comes to Halloween H20, with all the problems in production, the changing of the masks and everybody complaining about the masks, of course, finally by the last 3 Halloween films, they got the mask right. But I'd have to say, despite the CGI mask as well, this film has a very wonderful quality about it because it was an event film and kind of not been done yet in horror films yet. That kind of rebooting in a way. I mean, I'm sure there was some before there where they just completely retconned everything and just started kind of a soft boot and recognized something else to continue the stories. But again, this film, it has more than just a good quality film to me. It has a lot of personal memories as well, and I'm always going to cherish those memories till the day I die and meet my brother there in a big movie theater in the sky so we can watch and rewatch our life experience and put our heads down in shame and as we rewatch our lives. But again, folks, what is your favorite Halloween film? I'm sure I've asked this before on my other Halloween reviews. And what is your favorite memory in film, watching horror films together, with your loved ones, a girlfriend or a friend? For me, this is one of my all-time favorite memories going to the movies, was this film. So leave that down in the comment section below. And I'm interested in hearing your stories. Please, by all means. And while you're at it, hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I want to thank our sponsors. As you saw at the beginning of the video, I want to thank them so much for sponsoring for this, the horror edition. We're going to do this. We're probably going to roll into a little bit of November as well, folks, because I got about 7 more of these episodes of horror films to review. So I'm going to try to dish them out as best as I can. And that's why September hasn't really had nothing, because I was, busy doing a wedding and also busy trying to do these episodes. So, folks, again, tell me your favorite moments going to the theater, and what's your favorite moment or your favorite part of Halloween H20? Down in the comment section below. All right, folks, that's all the time I got for the Movie Dawgs Show. Thanks for watching. Keep on watching. Bye.